And first, let me check if my microphone is working. Yes, it is. Good evening. Yep, as you can tell, I am late for this Mariners game. Hashtag don't quit your day job, but I'm going to cover this game anyway. Here we are in the bottom of the sixth inning, 0-2 count on Rafael Devers. And now here's the pitch, and that is outside for a ball. And by the way, the pitcher is Eduardo Bazardo, and I am just extremely curious. Why is Bazardo still on this team? It makes absolutely no sense. He should not be on this team anymore. He's not pitching any better than what Bryce Miller is doing. The pitch. And now here is a blooper to center field, and Julio catches it and tagging at third possibly. And the throw, no throw to the, there is no play at the plate because man at third base decided not to go. So yep, they get away with it. But yeah, Bazardo really should not be on this team. And I wonder how long his contract is. Like, I don't think Bazardo really should be on this team anymore. Like, he just doesn't belong. He's not even good. He always leaves men on base. And somehow the Mariners extended him, or he's on a club control thing. Get him out of here. I don't care if he's less than $1 million. Get him out. The pitch. And now here's a fly ball popped up, and that should be playable. Arozarena is there, and he makes the catch, and that will retire the side. And the Boston Red Sox actually leave. The bases loaded. And we go to the top of the sixth inning. Due up will be the big torpedo, Cal Raleigh, Randy Arozarena, and Donovan Solano. Oh, great. Donovan Solano, who's pinch hitting for Luke Raley, he's not doing any better than Luke Raley. He's doing a lot worse than Luke Raley. And Rowdy Tellez seems to be going back to his old ways, so that's unfortunate. So we're at the top of the seventh inning. Only a few innings left. Senor, tell me how you make a thin crust Sahara pizza.
With your hands. Cornmeal.
While he makes that pizza, what's up baseball fans and pizza lovers? In celebration of the start of the baseball season, we've got a home run of a deal for you. We're offering 50% off all menu items on Mondays and Tuesdays and 25% off bowling. Don't strike out on this amazing deal. Check out our menu in the description of this video. And start ordering now. Delivery is also welcome. This offer goes through April.
And that's how you make Sahara pizza. Beautiful thing.
And we are now back from the break as the Mariners are somewhat staying into this game against the Boston Red Sox, and Red Sox are not a bad team either. I want to look at their standings and see where it's at. They are actually second in the division, one game back from the Boston Red Sox. So, yeah, that's what they're up against. And now we got Whitlock, Garrett Whitlock. He has earned just 3 runs in, yeah, he's actually a pretty good pitcher. 17 strikeouts on 5 walks. And now we got Cal Raleigh up to the plate. And now the pitch. And that is low for a ball. And you would think that this is a great opportunity for Cal Raleigh to get some runs in. And I'm absolutely just I'm actually somewhat in the game for my fantasy baseball team as I'm checking my team. And now we got 1-0 on Raleigh, the pitch. And that's going to be in there for a strike. That is going to be a 1-1 count on the big dumper or the big torpedo, Cal Raleigh. It's been quite a grinding game for the Mariners. Hopefully that they can steal one. And now the pitch. And now here's a ground ball foul. As now we're at 1-2. And now the pitch. Now here's a ground ball foul again. I got no speakers on so far. No one wants to talk to me. It's okay. I get it. No one expected me to just come in like just now, just dropping in a game. And obviously this is not going to count towards my goal. This is just so I can make some YouTube shorts out of it as we're at 1-2 for Cal Raleigh. We got Daniel Barry. How's it going? And now we're looking at the 1-2. Now the pitch, and that is up high for a ball. And Daniel Barry, I was wondering, just wondering, do you have any feedback on my membership? Like, just tell me, like, what could I do better or what could I do worse? Like, just tell me, like, what it was, what I missed. Now the 2-2, up high for a ball, ball 3. We're at 3-2, full count on Cal Raleigh. But yeah, I could use some feedback. Now we're at 3-2. And now the pitch. And that's going to be popped up into center field. And the center fielder is going to be there. And he makes the catch, and we got one away. And that center fielder was Rafaela, who was 2 for 2. He scored 2 runs. Bregman with 3 RBIs, so he's still doing his Houston killer thing. And now we got Randy Arozarena up to the plate. You're at top of the 7th inning. And now the pitch. And a big swing and a miss, strike 1. And Randy Arozarena was trying to just park that one out of there. You can just tell by the big swing and the miss that he had. He was hit by a pitch earlier in this game, as we're at 0-1 so far. And now the pitch, and that's going to be in there for a strike again. That was not exactly that was your pitch, but you still should have swung at it. But he wants the perfect pitch for a home run, but you ain't going to get it from Whitlock. And now the 0-2, and a swing and a miss, strike 3, and that is going to be 2 down. Next up is going to be Donovan Solano, which you might as well just call it the easy 1-2-3 inning right here. And now the pitch. And that is up high for a ball for Donovan Solano. Donovan Solano batting .097. And if you look at his splits in this season, and now the pitch, his average is pretty much about the same as his on-base percentage. His batting average is actually slightly higher than his on-base percentage. You know that's when things are going wrong. And he has 9 strikeouts, and he hasn't even walked yet, as we're at 1-1. And now the pitch, and a big swing and a miss. Where was the plate discipline of Donovan Solano? Like, why is that gone all of a sudden? Donovan Solano last season with the Padres, he was 65 strikeouts, but 22, but he had a 343 on base percentage. So he was at least decent in some capacity. Now we're at 1-2. Now the pitch, and a swing and a miss. And why did you even swing at that foul ball? Like, I don't even like Donovan Solano's approach. Like, I can't believe it's almost like we were better off just staying with Tyler Locklear and having platoon with Luke Raley, but that was too tough of a concept to grasp. As we're at 1-2 for Solano, and now the pitch, and now there's a ground ball, and that's to be fielded by second base. Throw to first, and he still gets in time, and Solano didn't really hustle on that one. As we go to the bottom of the 7th inning, stretch time, and it's time for Take Me Out to the Ball Game. As soon as I get the Louie up there, and I'll do it right now. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back, so let's root for the Mariners. If they don't win, it's a shame. It would be a shame because they're only back 1 game from Texas. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Oh no, we gotta go. Yeah. Low way. Oh, yeah, we gotta go. My little girl, she waiting for me. Catch a ship across the sea. I'm done. I gotta reply to this person who is arguing with me. Even if Italy scored, it would have been disallowed. And now we got Trent Thornton, and we are back from the break here in the bottom of the 7th inning. And next up to the plate, it is going to be Trevor Story. And now the pitch. And that is going to be inside for a ball. And that nearly got him. Looking at Tristan Cassis, he is off to a really terrible start. Sounds like maybe the Mariners dodged the bullet on not taking that trade. And Trent Thornton had a little bit of a pushback. Good thing we got Eduardo Bizardo over with, as we're at 1-0. And now the pitch. And that's going to be in there for a strike. Yeah, Bizardo has a just below $1 million payroll. As we're at 1-1. And now the pitch. And that is going to be a strike. And now we're at 1-2, the pitch. And that's going to be a foul ball. One and two. And now the pitch. Low for a ball. He's starting to lose it a little bit. Pete Crow Armstrong just hit a home run. Maybe that'll help my fantasy team a little bit. And now we're at 2-2. And it actually did help me. It did put me in the lead. As we're at the 2-2. And now the pitch. And a swing and a miss, strike 3. And that's going to be 1 out. And next up is going to be Abreu, who is 1 for 2. Around the league in my fantasy baseball league, Macaroni and Cheese at 6-3-2. He's actually winning this week. And now the pitch. Up high for a ball. That was a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. It looks like Filio Quimriguez is starting to be exposed a little bit. He's now losing this week. In danger of losing 2 in a row. As we're at 1-0, the pitch. And that's going to be a foul ball. Strike 1. As we're at 1-1. And now the 1-1. And a swing and a miss, strike 2. He got him. And Abreu is facing an unfavorable count against him, a 1-2. Still at 1-2. Thornton's got what he wants. Now the 1-2 pitch. Now here's a ground ball, and that's going to get right through for a base hit. He had a chance to strike him out, but now he gives up a hit, and now we got a runner on first base. And next up is going to be Campbell. It's going to be Christian Campbell. Christian Campbell, one of the newer prospects. He's off to a great start. 3 home runs, 8 RBIs, batting .316 with a .418 OBP. I mean, that's even better than Julio's numbers. Julio's batting .193 at the moment. Now we're at Campbell, now the pitch, and that is outside for a ball. As we're at 1-0 so far. A double play would be really nice and ideal. Now the pitch, and that's going to be in there for a strike. Dylan Moore is at right field, and we got Lau in the bullpen. New guy. Because now we're at 1-1, and now the pitch. Inside for a ball. That nearly got him. We're at 2-1. And the throw to first. And that is not in time. And that throw was intended for Solano. We're at 2-1. And now the pitch. And that is a strike. 2-2. Just barely made it in there. We're at 2-2. And now the 2-2 pitch. And that's going to be popped up and fouled. And that's going to be well out of play. We're at 2-2. And now the 2-2 pitch. And check swing, did he go? He did not, and that's going to be a 3-2. Kind of wonder if he did go around. It looks like Dan Wilson's not happy about the call. He thinks that it should have been a strike. And I don't think it's something you can challenge either.
He very much thinks that Campbell went around.
He thought he went around. I think it's possible too. As we're at 3-2, throw to first. And it's not in time once again. Mariners are in danger of giving Boston more opportunities to score runs. I mean, out of all places that I don't like to be for the Mariners, it's Boston. As we're at 3-2. And now the pitch. And that is a ball 4. Take your base. And now we got runners on first and second with only 1 out. And next up is going to be Tristan Casas. Dan Wilson's still not happy about that call. The real contributors were Jarren Duran, Alex Bregman, and Abreu. And now you got Tristan Casas, was supposed to be one of the hyped players. The Mariners tried to trade for him by giving up Luis Castillo, but they didn't want to take on Masataka Yoshida's contract, who is, by the way, not even playing right now. And now the pitch. And now here's a fly ball to right field and foul. That could have gone either way. Wonder what happened to Masataka Yoshida. Wonder why he's not even playing. Looks like he's in the doghouse. And looks like they're trying to just part ways with him. As we're at 1-1. Now the pitch. And that's going to be popped up or fly ball to center field, and that is gone. That is Tristan Casas with a huge home run to center field, and the Boston Red Sox have completely just broken this one open. It is now Boston 7 and the Mariners 3. Maybe the Mariners should have traded for Tristan Casas on that situation. And now this game may have just ended. That was just absolutely blasted out of there. It was a pitch right down the middle. It was a nice little hanging breaking ball. And that was just absolutely just clobbered. That was just absolutely just crushed. And Tristan Cassis really has a show of display of his power on that one. Trent Thornton visibly upset. And Dan Wilson, and he has seen enough. Yeah, this game was just not meant to be. Honestly, Fritz, I'm starting to think that this series itself just wasn't meant to be. Like, we're just not meant to beat Boston, I guess. I don't know. I'm going to get some water and find a pen. I'm going to play a little commercial break. We just got an order. While he makes that pizza, what's up, baseball fans and pizza lovers? In celebration of the start of the baseball season, we've got a home run of a deal for you. We're offering 50% off all menu items on Mondays and Tuesdays and 25% off bowling. Don't strike out on this amazing deal. Check out our menu in the description of this video and start ordering now. Delivery is also welcome. This offer goes through April. And we are back from the break, and as you can see, the Mariners gave up a 3-run home run, and controversially, it was because of a check swing that should have been arguably a strike, and we're never going to know whether it was actually a strike, and Root Sports didn't even take the time to give us the replay either, as we got Lau, who looks like he's making his Major League debut. It's Suryan Lau. He has pitched 9 innings, 2 earned runs, 7 strikeouts, and 1 walk, and that's what earned him, and there is the pitch. And that's going to be a strike. It's a 91-mile-an-hour fastball. And I'm really curious, what is his pitches? Looks like Yoshida was having an injury problem, and we got 1-0 pitch. Looks like he is injured. That's why he's not playing. Let's see if there's any visuals or like some kind of information on him, and they don't really have anything much, as we're at the 2-0, and here's a ground ball, and that's gonna get right through for a base hit, and if you're not careful, that could be nope, that's gonna be a single right there. And now we got runners on first base. Not exactly a good way to have a debut. Doesn't really show what his pitching really is. He was with Texas last year, and it seemed like the Mariners traded for him or signed him. What happened was he was signed to a minor league contract. He worked his way for a pretty long time, and then he got selected. He was signed as a free agent, and that is a swing and a miss, strike 1. He actually played first base for a while. Interesting. He actually was a first baseman, and then he converted to a pitcher. Very interesting. And now we're at the 0-1. And now the pitch. And that's a check swing. Did he go? He did not. Tomorrow's game is not going to be any easier. Tomorrow, I believe, is going to be Emerson Hancock against Newcomb. And that's not going to be a good matchup either. And the Mariners are the underdogs, clearly so. The 1-1, and that is a ground ball foul. If the Mariners jump to a 3-0 lead, I'm immediately putting money on Boston. As we're at 1-2 for Rafaela. It's been a very long inning for the Mariners. As now we're at 1-2. And now the pitch. And that is low for a ball, 2-2. The only positive thing out of playing Boston in this series, at least we just get it over with in April, because you never want to play Boston during a critical stretch because the Mariners just cannot get it done in Boston. They've only won 3 of their last 15 games, and now we're at 2-2. And now the pitch, and that is low for a ball, 3-2. And now we're at 3-2. And now the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and Lau got his first strikeout. And now we got one out. And now we've got Jarron Duran, who is 1 for 3 in the pitch. And that is a ball, low for a ball. George Kirby, looks like his return got delayed a little bit. Cade Marlowe say they're out till June 1st. He's basically out for the year. Matt Brash, they say May 2nd. Sebi Zavala's in Boston now. Interesting. And now the pitch. And that is inside for a ball. Jarron Duran, in this season so far, he has 1 home run. He's batting .232. Not exactly he's off to a pretty bad start. And Rafael Devers, he's not off to a good start either. And now the pitch. And that is a strike. Devers is doing a little bit better. But no matter how bad Boston is, even if they're a 100-loss team, they will still find a way. And if the Mariners are like a 100-win team, they'll still find a way to make it hell for the Mariners. As we're at 2-1, and the pitch. And that is a foul ball, and the bad pitch got bailed out. Lau got bailed out by Duran's bad swinging on a very bad pitch. And now we're at 2-2 with 2 outs. And let's see if we can get out of this inning. And would still like to see the Mariners rally, even though it's very unlikely. If the Mariners win this game somehow, and if you bet like $10, you'll win $180. But I don't think you're going to make that kind of bet, as we're at 2-2. And the 2-2 pitch. And that is low for a ball, 3-2 on Jarron Duran. It's like our bullpen is just not in good shape at all. It's not the same as it was in 2023. And that bullpen comparatively was a lockdown bullpen. And now we're at 3-2. And now the pitch. Now here's a ground ball. And that's going to be fielded and the throw to first. And it gets away. Really bad throw. And now that's going to score in the run. The throw to the plate. Not no throw to the plate. It's wild throw. And the Mariners give up another run. Boston now leads at 8-3 on just really bad defense by the Mariners. It was a really terrible throw by the second baseman. And who was the second baseman? That was Leo Rivas, who really just couldn't get the angle. It was just a horrible throw, and also badly fielded by Solano, which led to another run being scored. And it seemed that this game was just really not meant to be. And now it's 8-3, and this game just really seems out of reach. And now here's Rafael Devers, and that's going to be in there for a strike. Honestly, I just don't think this series is meant to be. It's almost like if the Mariners get even 1 out of 3 in this series, which is probably going to be the Brian Wu game, that would just be a wild success. And now here's the 0-1, and that is going to be a strike. With Emerson Hancock pitching tomorrow, you cannot expect a victory out of that. You just can't. Now we're at 0-2 for Rafael Devers. And now the 0-2 pitch. And a swing and a miss, and that hit the dirt. And that should be strike 3 to toss over the first in time. And that's going to retire the side. But the Mariners give up 4 runs to really put this game out of reach. We go to the top of the 8th inning. Boston 8, Mariners 3. With the NBA playoffs underway, you are probably planning to go to an NBA playoff game and cheer for your NBA team or player. But knowing that playoff tickets can be pricey, don't worry, I've got you covered. If you use my promo code Rooftop Sports, you'll get $20 off the purchase and enjoy the NBA playoffs. Since Polo can't play third, why is he not at second where he's played his whole life? What am I missing? It's because of injury problems. They're just so scared of risking him for injury. That's what it is. But they're taking that fear. They're taking that scare. I think they're just taking that scarcity mindset a bit too far. It's quite an overdone scarcity mindset. Mariners are at 8-3, and this game is becoming really extremely out of reach. And the only hope is hopefully the Sacramento A's defeat the Texas Rangers, which would be quite useful, but you cannot depend on that either. Rangers are at 13-9. Athletics at 10-12. 1 game back. That's a weird injury. You can play third, not second. Yeah, I agree. And Fritz, I was wondering, have you taken a look at my exclusive content? Because I know you're one of the members of the channel. I mean, it's basically my fantasy baseball diary and my softball diary. I think that's Ben Williamson with his first home run. The first home run was given to him. Now here is was that a base hit? Looks like that was a base hit. And that was I think that was by Ben Williamson. Really terrible job by Root Sports to make it unnoticeable, but he gets on base with a single. Now we got Dylan Moore up to the plate and see if Dylan Moore can at least get something going, because Mariners are going to have to. Dylan Moore up to the plate, who was named the AL Player of the Week last week. Now the pitch, and that is low for a ball. I mean, the dimensions are very favorable for the Mariners to be able to hit offense. It's just that their pitching just gets shanked a lot. Williamson at first base. It was with a single. And now the pitch. Up high for a ball, 2-0. I'm not saying it's possible, but it's not impossible completely that the Mariners can make some kind of a comeback. No, what am I kidding? They're not coming back. As we're at 2-0, the pitch, that is up high for a ball, 3-0. And you would think that a strike is going to be coming in. That I don't think you're walking on 4 straight pitches. So I think Dylan Moore's got to get the green light, because he is going to give you a strike. As we're at 3-0, now the pitch, and that is a strike. Told you. And he did it, and the pitcher did it in the correct way. Like, he pitched it in a way where it was tough to reach, even for it to be a strike. And now the pitch. And a swing and a miss, strike 2. And now we're at the full count, 3-2 on Dylan Moore. Just 2 strikes right out of the blink of an eye. And now the 3-2. And that's strike 3 called. Why did you not swing at that? It was literally right there, Dylan Moore. And now we've got 1 out. Kind of a little been checked out of Mariners content for a week. I don't blame you. Which other channels do you follow? Now we've got 1 out. And now the pitch to Leo Rivas, and that is going to be a ball. Mariners are not winning this game. They're not even going to win this series. I think they might even get swept. As now we're at 0-1 for Leo Rivas. And the pitch. And that is low for a ball, 1-1. Mariners' previous series were able to escape one in Toronto with a 2 out of 3 and Cincinnati. Now we're at 1-1 and a swing and a miss, strike 2. It seems that the Mariners just want to get out of there and just get this done. They just don't feel inspired to make some kind of a comeback. Except Ben Williamson does feel inspired to do so. As we're at 1-2, Whitlock's been pitching very well. Now we're at 1-2, and the pitch. And that is up high for a ball. And the catcher really tried to sell it to him with that framing, but the umpire wasn't going to budge. And now we're at 2-2. And the pitch again. And now here's a fly ball to left field, and that's not going to go anywhere. And he makes the catch. And now we've got 2 outs. And it's going to be JP Crawford, who was 2 for 3. He's gotten 2 RBIs. And whatever is on, kind of funnier to watch when they're actually bad. Wait, what? Mariners Mojo is cool. Jay Trident podcast, whatever one's on, really, I guess. Now the pitch. That is outside for a ball. I do appreciate, considering that the fact that you watch Mojo and other guys, I do appreciate you being one of the members and a heavy donor. As we're at 1-0, now the pitch. Big swing and a miss, strike 1. Mariners are really running out of time. Means that the scoring is very unlikely. Dick and Softy have a YouTube channel? Did they have a YouTube channel? As we're at 1-1. And now the pitch. Low for a ball, 2-1. Kind of surprised Dave Softy Mahler hasn't really gone into YouTube yet. I really think Softy could have had potential to do it. And now we're at 2-1. And now the pitch. And that's going to be a strike, 2-2. That was clearly outside the strike zone, but it wasn't going to give it to him. As we're at 2-2. And the pitch. Here's a broken bat to second base, and JP Crawford's got to run his ass off to throw to first, and that is in time. And that lack of JP Crawford is really showing. And I don't think he's going to be a Mariner any longer. I don't think the hustle was there. The crazy thing is, too, he's batting .234. He was, at least. And now that will retire the side. And now we're going to get to the bottom of the 8th inning. And again, Mariners are really running out of time. But yeah, money line for tomorrow's game isn't looking too good. I mean, even with the day off, the Mariners still couldn't take care of business. SeatGeek is a mobile ticketing app for sporting events, concerts, and other events. They make the buying experience easier by the app ranking each ticket from 0 to 10 to see if you are getting a good deal, and you can see exactly where you are sitting. I regularly use that app, and I have had nothing but a fantastic experience with SeatGeek. Use my promo code ROOFTOPSPORTS to get $20 off of your first purchase. Link to the code, app, and website will be in the description, so take advantage, and thank you. Well, that's it. Yeah, the 8th inning was... Yeah. All I can say is this game has been an absolute disaster. 2 strikeouts for Lau on his first outing, though, so good for him on his Major League debut, and he's still up on the mound. Because it's pretty much mop-up time at this point. It's like, why waste a bullpen pitcher when you're pretty much already losing? Or that the fact that you pretty much already lost this game. And now here's Alex Bregman, and now the pitch. And that is low for a ball. And now the pitch. And that is up high for a ball. You're still feeling way better than 10 days and when it looked like they could be worse in offense history. Like they could be the worst, but I'll take 500 for now for how bad the start was. Yeah, true. And now we're at the 2-0. And that is a strike. As now we're at the 2-1. And now the pitch outside for a ball. We got Teresa going, looking at Mariners' salaries for hitters. How come their top salaries don't seem to be pulling their weight? Yeah, I agree. Julio's not really pulling his weight. JP's not really pulling his weight that much. Other hitters that are not pulling their weight. Randy Arozarena is not really pulling his weight. Cal Raleigh kind of is. Now we're at 3-1. And now the pitch. And that is a strike. That's going to be 3-2 for Alex Bregman. It's a full count. Alex Bregman, one of the Mariner killers when he was an Astro and still continues to be. Mariners should have signed him to 3-2. And now here's a fly ball to right field, but Dylan Moore should be there and he makes the catch, and that's going to be 2 outs. Still can't believe the Mariners did not go for Alex Bregman. Like, I still can't believe they didn't even go for him. I mean, they've gotten lucky with Ben Williamson, but not by much. They really should have made those moves, but they chose not to otherwise. The Mariner fans are in the stands right now for Boston. I don't like Boston. For some reason, I just don't care about Boston. I don't even know why. And now the pitch. And that's to Trevor Story, and that's going to be outside for a ball. Trevor Story is 0 for 4 today. Mariners on the road, 4-5. Red Sox at home, 7-4. So for all that T-Mobile talk suppression, Mariners seem to handle it just fine because they make it up with victories. They lost one series against the Detroit Tigers. They split a series against the Sacramento A's. They won a series against the Houston Astros, and they swept the Texas Rangers, the 1-1. And that is going to be low for a ball. 2-1 the count on Trevor Story. Trevor Story trying to see if maybe he can add some more runs as we're at 0-4. Lau, the pitcher, getting close to 30 pitches. And now the pitch. And a swing and a miss, strike 2. Nice little slider by Lau. That was a slider. And his fastball goes up to the 90s. So he seems like an underwhelming kind of pitcher, unfortunately. As we're at 2-2. He has 2 strikeouts so far. It's at 28 pitches right now. As we're at 2-2. And now the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Another strikeout for Lau. And now that's 2 outs. Lau with 28 pitches and 3 strikeouts. So he's actually been pitching okay. As Trent Thornton was the one charged with the runs. Not Lau. Because of really bad defense. I guess a bad umpire call. And now the pitch to Abreu. And that is a foul ball. As now we're at 0-1. And the pitch. Swing and a miss, and that is strike 2. Looks like Lau might have some nasty stuff. Wonder what kind of pitch that was, and he pitched it to him. It was another slider. And now the 0-2 pitch, and that is low for a ball. 0-2 on Abreu. Abreu's 2 for 3. He's been playing very well. Mariners, if they get out of this inning, they are going to have Julio Rodriguez, Jorge Polanco, and Cal Raleigh. And now we're at 1-2. And now the pitch. And that is low for a ball. And that's going to be a 2-2 count on Abreu. Yeah, this game really sucks, Josh. Really does. As we're at 2-2 by Abreu. And now the pitch. Now here's a fly ball drilled to right field. And that is going to be caught. No, that's gone. I thought he caught it for a second. And that's going to be a ground rule double. I guess. Okay. Yeah, this game's been really frustrating. Like, it just didn't seem that it was just their game. That was a nice fly ball to right field. And then Dylan Moore almost caught it, but he didn't. Man, I really hate Boston games. That's why I'm so happy it's in April, just so they can just get it over with. Just take your losses and just move on. Now here's Campbell, 0 for 3. The pitch, swing and a miss, and that is strike one. Still using that slider. This is Christian Campbell. He really loves to use that slider. As we're at 0-1 for Campbell. And now the pitch. That is low for a ball. I think he tried a fastball on that one, or what was it? Was it another slider? That was another slider. He's really overusing that slider. Maybe try a fastball. Now we're at 1-1. And the pitch. And now here's a ground ball, and that's going to be fielded by Rivas. The throw to first, and that is in time. Better fielded this time. And the Mariners get out of the inning, but they are down to their last 3 outs with They are down with just Julio Rodriguez, Jorge Polanco, and Cal Raleigh. But at the way this game has been going, it's very unlikely that the Mariners are going to get any kind of runs. It seems that this game just might be over. Looks like Kansas City is losing a game to Colorado. Didn't expect that. It's the bottom of the 9th for them. Would still love to see the top of the order put the ball in play, show some heart. I think they just gave up. I mean, look at the lack of heart that they were showing in the last inning. You saw J.P. Crawford. He doesn't have the speed. He's just not fast. And he never was. He's just not fast. I wanted to believe he was fast, but he's just not. Cleveland just beat New York 3-2. And I know it's early in the season, but I do like peeking at the standings. Wild card wise, the Mariners have a half-game lead on the wild card. But that may not, I mean, this is early in the season to even check, but I always check anyway. Oh, thank you, Fritz. Thank you very much for the donation. Rowdy Tellez is not in the lineup right now. He just got pinch hit. And now up on the mound, new pitcher. Wonder who this is. This is Hendricks. Hendricks has a career 116 saves. And thank you for the donation, Fritz. I know I said that before, but I said it again anyway. And that's going to be a strike. Julio Rodriguez is now up to the plate. As now we're at 0-1. And the pitch. Now here's a fly ball to center field, but nothing doing. And he makes the catch, and that is going to be 1 out already. 2 outs away until the Boston Red Sox take game 1 of this 3-game series. Doesn't really seem like there is much the Mariners can really do. Kansas City just tied the game. And now we got Jorge Polanco up to the plate. And now the pitch. And that's going to be outside for a ball. The only thing I want to see is like some kind of just anything. And now they 1-0. And that is going to be 2-0. Like what I would like to see is just Jorge just hit one out of there. I want to see another home run out of Jorge Polanco. As now we're at 2-0. And now the pitch. And that's going to be a foul ball again. Angels and the Pirates just started. Rays and Diamondbacks just started. Giants just started. And now we're at 2-1. And I just lost my feed for a moment. And now here's a 2-1 pitch. Now here's a ground ball right to second base. Easy play. Toss over to first in time. And the Mariners are down to their final out. And next up's going to be Cal Raleigh. And the only thing I care about at this point is just give me a home run from that torpedo bat. Because you have 9 home runs this season. Put yourself at 10 home runs if you can. As he is at 9 home runs. Now the pitch. Now here's a fly ball to deep left center field, but that should be playable. And he makes the catch, and the ball game is over. The Boston Red Sox just took game 1 of this 3-game series, and Mariners are going to be back tomorrow with Tristan Casas as the pitcher. No, not Tristan Casas. Emerson Hancock as the pitcher. And I hate to say it, but we're freaking screwed tomorrow. Yeah, it was an absolute beatdown. It was not even close. So unfortunately that this game is over. And I'm just going to sign off right now because I just got really nothing else much to say. I don't really have much engagement here right now. But Fritz, thank you very much. Thanks for not only being a member, but also thank you for donating to this channel. So thank you very much. And everyone, I am going to take off, and everyone have a good night and go Mariners.